And welcome to the Barrel Bites. I'm James.
And I'm BJ. Welcome back to your weekly booze news and reviews. I almost went into the old version. It was like so clicked and queued up in my brain.
Bringing it back old school.
I was going to do the old school. Well, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Time to continue our view of the Knob Creek vertical offerings that we have before us.
Wrapping up knob. We're wrapping our knob up this
And that's not just what we're
week.
doing. It's also good sexual health practice. Wrap the knob.
Wow. You really brought that in.
Hey. When I feel it, I do it.
So we have a really interesting bottle tonight, which after doing some research, I have discovered that this is where it's an annual release and it's a special bottle on its own. This bottle has a very special history to it, and we're going to give it a minute while you unbox it, and then why don't we put the box back, and we'll put the box back in its spot. And we're going to let some people roll in before I go into details.
Oh, wow. It's really stuck in here.
Yeah, apparently that wax is not pleasant from what I was reading. They changed the wax that they started using the year following this. So.
It's a very beautiful wooden box.
There you go. It's a nice, beautiful Knob Creek 15-year
reminiscent
box.
Of the Booker's box, I might add.
Yeah, so you guys can. This is available. This is an annual release of the Knob Creek 15-year. This started in, was it 2020? I think we read that, or was it 2021?
It started, I believe, in 2021. Yeah, wow.
2021.
Real gooey.
Yeah, it's when they had their crabby wax. Oh, really having a tough time there. Oh, wow. You might need to go step away and get something to wipe off this knob.
You got a cancer rag over there or something?
I don't have, no, I don't, believe it or not. I just have bottles and little glasses.
Oh my God.
Over here.
Yeah. When's the last time you opened this?
Probably the only time that we opened it last time, and we haven't touched it since. Can you even
Here's the good news.
Yes.
This has not corked.
Obviously,
because it's in there.
It's in there.
Good. So this thing has gotten no oxygen in it.
Oof, but you're really, really struggling there.
Yeah,
getting this going.
I'm actually a little afraid I'm going to break the cork in it.
Yeah, that's what worries me too. Oh boy.
I might have to step away and get some tools.
All right. Well, I'll let you do that, and I'm going to talk a little bit. Uncle P, what's going on? Welcome to the show. So anyway, I'll go into a little. I'm trying to think of like where I picked up this bottle. I definitely picked it up locally in Vegas. At the time, it was going for $99.99, so it was $100. Apparently some Knob Creek fans were scoffing at that, saying that it was too much, and that I kind of find that hard. I guess a couple of years ago, they were like, "Oh, it should have been 50." I'm like, "Well, you're looking at a 15-year bourbon. We always go off the $10 a year litmus test." And oh wow, he's really digging in the. I don't know if you guys can hear that. He's really jangling back there. Anyway, obviously, and so this was. Oh man, you okay over there? Anyway, they were scoffing at the price, but it is what it is. We say the litmus test is $10 a year. That would have put this at $150. So to get it for $99, I think is a deal. The only unfortunate thing, the first year this came out in 2021 was the only year that it came in the beautiful wooden box that you see here with us today. And now if you want to get it, it's just in the bottle. So if you look at the 12-year, I think that's kind of like that with the red label you're looking at for the 15. So there you have it. Did you have success? And very good.
Success and one piece.
Great to success, BJ. Great to success.
Great to success. All in one piece.
Hopefully the juice was worth the squeeze, and
this wax is like melty.
Wax is all goopy wax. And we'll see if this was worth it or not. So anyway, 15-year comes out once a year. Just keep an eye out for it. I think I've seen some of the 15 years on the shelves for around $150. So I think it's gone up quite a bit in price recently.
That's something to talk
but
about.
it's out
3
there.
years and it's gained
Everything's gone up in
50% of its
price. I
value
mean, and especially
in equity,
whiskey,
apparently.
which is crazy because I think we oh, good catch.
Thank you.
I mean, I think we're over the hump with the bourbon hobby, and for things to still try to warrant the prices that they do is a bit much. Whoa.
Hey, what do you guys think of our? We announced it last week. You might have seen it, but look at it in its full glory. It's like full electric sex up front there. There you go. Dim it down. Dim it down.
There, it's dimmed down.
Jimmy Dimsdale. What do you think of that? It's
got a solid nose. Pretty solid. Oh, you're talking about the YouTube side?
Yeah, our YouTube high five.
Yeah, it's some swag that some of the content creators got. So they're like,
This
you know
does
what?
have a
We'll throw a
solid
bone to
nose.
the bee buds.
So yeah, 15 years. Remember, that's the least amount of age that's in there, and 100 proof. So 50%. Year one. That's what we've got. We got the first year release, as you've already told them. Cheers.
Look at the legs on that too. It's got some
oil.
Some
definitely
oil.
coming in
Thickness.
around there. And look at it. It's you can see it there in the light. Look at the almost cherryish color. It's red.
It does kind of have
right?
a red hue.
It's got a nice red
Cherry
hue. It's not your typical copper. This is like a dark amber color.
Yeah. Ooh. Not bad. Not bad.
So that's kind of a hot 50%.
That is like
it mellows a little bit. It mellows fast.
It punches you, but then that just
quick
it
sting.
turns super mellow. It is a quick sting.
It smell. I'll tell you, the nose that I compare this to.
Yeah,
it's got this nose is very reminiscent of Stag.
Oh,
I think this has a very
it does. Yeah.
It almost smells like a cherry Sathers.
Oh, that's very specific.
Like a Sathers cough drop.
To go into a little bit more detail, so this was I'm trying to think of where the whatchamacallit, the mash bill. I had it here somewhere. So this was
71% corn, I believe you said.
Yeah, but what did it say here?
Giving you a little air.
So apparently Knob Creek uses 78.5 corn,
78,
13 rye, and 8.5 barley. But this is supposedly 77% corn, 13% rye, 10% barley. So it's little.
Those maths don't math.
78.5, 13, and 8.5.
78 and 13.
So that'd be.
I guess it does math. I don't know.
1.5.
I don't math.
8.5.
Sorry, I'm not good at math.
Yeah. So they're both good. There you go.
All right. 3-sip rule.
3-sip rule.
I'm going to take you through my 3-sip journey, right? First sip shocks the palate. Second sip should start to bloom. Third sip should really swirl around and open up.
Gacked and zooted, Top Feed. Coco, welcome to the show.
Top Feed.
As usual.
So I'm going to walk this through. I think that
walk us through.
I think that this was the definition of a 3-sip rule for me. That first sip was a major shock to the palate. Very sharp, very stinging.
Yeah.
My second sip was very blooming. I got a lot of the oak and the barrel.
I'm absolutely agreeing with you. Yes.
And then that third sip has led me into, again, it's a very big, full-bodied spirit. This is a big bourbon. It drinks like a Cabernet Sauvignon. Really coats the mouth. Big mouthfeel. Very creamy. Super full-bodied. A lot of flavor. Bunch of complexities here. Good sweetness.
Good sweetness.
Great barrel characteristic. But the oak, and I'm going to say balanced, because you get a lot of the oak characteristic, but you're getting all this great cherry, vanilla. You're getting some good caramel. And when I say caramel, I'm not talking like the Werther sweet. I'm talking about true homemade, make it home, butter, brown sugar, caramel, like overdone caramel. Even it's very cooked through, and I found this to be really nice. It opens up on the palate. It's not a long finisher. I don't think that it lingers, but it does keep me coming back for more. Again, Knob Creek is some of these older Knob Creeks is pulling me back. The young Knob Creeks, don't care for them. The 9, don't care. I'm not a big fan, but boy,
I think we started selling
12.
you a little bit on the 12. Once we had the 12, your opinion overall of the brand, I felt
changed.
Definitely changed.
Yeah, the 9, not a fan. I don't like the 9.
I understood 100%. Yeah, you could tell.
The 12 was magic.
Yeah.
The 15, I don't know that I'm as wowed in the 15 as I am about the 12. I like the 12.
I could see
a
that.
little better.
I could see that.
But this is pretty dang good, and I think it was the definition of a 3-sip rule. Because I wasn't sure I was going to like it at first, and I did really like it. So just proof point again.
Yeah.
If you're not sure about something, always give it 3 sips, because if I just took 1 sip of this, I might have just shoved it away and put it in the same category as Knob. But I actually do like this, Jimmy.
Yeah, I would agree with you on a ton of those points you said. Full-bodied, like dried fruits, you get a lot of that creaminess. It is sharp up front, but it comes and goes. It's such a quick sting that like you get through that, and then it just kind of gets, like it's an oak char, but not in like a bitter, dry way. I think it's pleasant where you're just like, okay, like there's a lot of complexity. Yeah. There's a lot of different good baking spices, barrel char. Like there's age. Age has definitely benefited this Knob Creek, and like. This is one of the things that I always look for in a bottle, and for being $100, if it's something that's complex, like I just don't need a sweet wheat, some Weller or something, where you're just like, oh, it's a great sweet wheat, or a Blanton's where it's super one-sided and just sweet. This has a lot going for it. This has a lot of complexity and depth and body.
There is,
and
agreed.
This
100%.
This is something that I think I'd want on the shelf. Just as like, I could smoke a cigar with this. Like, I think I would.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Like having a stick and going out on the patio, going out in the backyard, kicking back, lighting a stogie, having a pour of this, I think would like be great.
Yeah.
And it would hold up. I think it would really hold up.
No, this is solid. This is a solid juice. I am really interested to throw a little bit of a cube in this. I am curious what that does to this. I'm gonna
go for it. I'll take one too.
I'm gonna grab a little ice. And before we get to scores, I think we should do. I'd like to get us to the news. We're keeping good pace on the show tonight, so I want to get us to some news, if you don't mind. I got a couple stories to share with y'all.
Yeah, please do. Let's get to some.
Let's get some news, and then we'll come back to scores.
How did you get this open, man?
Scissors. Scissors. All right, I'm going to start with this one. This one is real fun. There is a release of something very interesting and unique.
Well, hold on really quick. Before we get into it, do we want to do scores real quick?
No, let's keep them waiting.
Oh, yeah. They're just going to piss some people off.
Let's keep them waiting.
I was here for the review, not for your news.
Don't worry. You're going to get some news.
Skip ahead.
We're going to get some news.
You guys know how to follow the stupid playback thing at the bottom where there's the big jump. That's where you can skip ahead.
Keep an eye down there to make sure that you skip forward on those joining live. To skip through the commercials for him.
Yeah. Good point.
All right. So this is an interesting one. Derek Trucks, a fairly famous guitarist, you may have heard of him, is debuting a new whiskey. It is coming out at the Bourbon and Beyond Festival on September 20th. It's called APW, Heritage Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Any guess as to what APW stands for?
Who?
Derek Trucks, the guitarist.
From who? From what?
I don't know. I'm old now. I don't know who Derek Trucks is.
Derek, hold on, let's look him up. Derek Trucks. Oh, he's an American guitarist and songwriter. Founder of the Derek Trucks Band. Go figure. Hold on. He's also an official member of the Allman Brothers Band in 1999.
Shit. Okay. You love me, the Allman Brothers.
And he has appeared twice on Rolling Stone's list of 100 greatest guitarists of all time.
Well, see, I told you he's a good guitarist.
So Let's
So
let's
what do you
this.
think APW stands for?
Hold on a second. I'm still learning about Derek Trucks. Damn it! I want to see him play.
Oh my God.
Oh, we can't play
We
it.
probably can't.
on-
Yeah, you probably can't do this.
All right. Well, you guys know how to look him up on YouTube.
He looks like he plays for the Allman Brothers.
Oh, he sure does. Let's see if we got
Is he a
him
good
going
picker?
here. Oh yeah, he's got the slide on.
Oh, look, yeah, he's playing a little slide guitar.
Oh, I don't know if you guys can hear that. Oh, he's jamming. All right, he's
All
legit.
right, so he's legit.
He's legit.
So
I would,
APW.
anybody that plays guitar with a slide is legit. APW.
What do you
so,
think it stands for?
so hold on. He came up with this.
Yes, and I actually like why he came up with it. We're gonna
Always picking whiskey. Oh,
picking
maybe like
whiskey.
always picking
Always
whiskey.
picking whiskey.
Like it looks like a guitar reference. Do you
That's
guys see what
pretty
I got
good.
going on there? See what I did there?
No, you were way off. It stands for ass pocket whiskey.
This is lies. Seriously?
Not lies. Ass pocket whiskey is going
We're
to come
gonna look it
out
up. We're
on
gonna look it up.
September 20th, and Bourbon and Beyond attendees can purchase the sample. If you want to buy it, you actually need to go to asspocketwhiskey.com.
Holy
so
moly.
that you can. That's the only place you're going to be able to get it. But I enjoy the reason that
Can you guys see
created
this in the chat? Can you guys see our picture?
Yes, fabulous. So he
There it
created
is.
this.
It's legit says on the label.
Ass
How do they
pocket
get away
whiskey.
with that? I'm surprised they can get away with that.
I'll be honest. I'm morbidly curious. I think we're gonna have to get one of these. He wants to do this because he wants fans to be able to have their whiskey and drink it too. And he says it's because bourbon and whiskey has become such a collectible thing. He wants to have a smaller 200 milliliter hip flask. So that you don't have to ruin a collectible bottle.
I like
promote
that.
the idea that you can just open it and drink it without any fears. So the whole point is drink a good whiskey and have it. The people who were involved in this, by the way,
That's what I was going to ask you. Is this like a
Chris Blanford of Kroger and Carrie Van
Oh.
Winkle, co-founder of Pappy and Company.
Oh,
So there is some good history in the APW pick.
Oh, well, I'm curious. Like, is this sourced? Is this? Well, it's 10 years old, so they have to be sourcing
definitely
it from
sourced,
somewhere.
right? This is a non.
Well, let's go to
producing
asspocketwhiskey.com and see
There's
where
not
it
a
takes
lot.
us.
There's not a lot to display. It just says coming soon.
Oh, there's really nothing here.
So we're gonna have to be on the lookout.
Let's see if they
Set
got
a
an
calendar
Instagram.
to buy
Yeah.
Ass Pocket Whiskey on September 20th.
Actually, I'm gonna sign up.
I knew that we would. I knew that
Yeah.
we would. We should probably reach out to them. I'm actually morbidly curious, especially knowing that Kroger, who has been a big proponent of whiskey sales, if you know, you know. And then you've got the co-founder of Pappy and Company. I think this is going to be okay juice.
A 10-year and it's a 200 mil. I mean, if they come in at the right price for a 50%er, I'm all about it. I'd probably want to buy a couple of them, right? Open one. And
Talk
one
about
can
somebody who
hang
doesn't
out.
want to have a collectible bottle. I think that's a very collectible bottle.
I would agree.
That's
agree.
very
It's cool.
collectible.
And it's got a fun name. Just have an ass pocket whiskey.
Hey, just pull out my ass pocket whiskey. So there you go. That's a fun
cool.
one.
All right, that is a fun one.
So here's another good one. Buffalo Trace has a new neighbor in Frankfort, Kentucky, and
really?
they are also producing bourbon with some serious buzz. So this is kind of interesting. After several years in Georgetown, Kentucky, the J. Mattingly 1845 distillery has now opened their doors at 20 Riley Road in Frankfort.
I don't even.
They actually opened last November, but they're actually putting out their first.
Do you know what these guys
bottle.
are notorious for? Do you know their history on
I-
Reddit years ago?
Tell me all about it. I knew
So
this was
they're
gonna tell you.
notorious for blending apparently in like steel garbage cans some of their first batches in like their garages. No joke. This was like
Okay.
a huge thing on Reddit years ago that these clowns, I don't know if I'm sure they probably earned enough money to where they're not clowns. Well, maybe they're still clowns, but
you could be a clown.
that
But you
they've
could also be a clown with money.
they've stopped doing this in their garages and they now have like a legitimate facility where they can do this in.
It is true.
But,
So they started in 2010, and now they bought the 1845 brand J. Mattingly, doing one-off small batch releases with custom blends, as you have just mentioned.
garbage cans.
And choosing one-off or staff barrel picks. And they're known for custom bottlings, but They are debuting their first standard offering, and they are earning impressive accolades using something called the double staved method. This was just launched this last week on August 21st in honor of John Grave Mattingly's 201st birthday. This new bottle is bottled at 6.5-year-old, 119 proof blended Kentucky bourbon, which has undergone the signature double stave process bearing the J. Mattingly trademark
What is
style.
that? What is that stave process? Like they put staves in the barrel?
They break down old bourbon barrels
Okay.
into large pieces and then add them to the currently aging barrels, aging whiskey, and saying that the added staves increase the surface area of charred wood to the liquid to interact with, allowing whiskey to absorb flavor and color from the barrel at a faster rate. Don't believe us? Well, famed whiskey reviewer Jim Murray has already reviewed the new whiskey and has rated it a 96 out of 100,
Wow.
an exceptionally high score, while describing it as remarkable and crediting the double stave process with giving the bourbon a honeyed and toasted intensity of one thrice its age. We'd like to thank Gear Patrol for this
Who's
wonderful
the writer of the article? You have a
and
writer?
Johnny Brayson,
Thanks, Johnny,
who put
for
this
the
out
article.
today. So thank you,
Oh,
Johnny
thanks,
Brayson
Johnny at Gear Patrol.
and Gear Patrol.
Wow, that's interesting. I mean, Jim Murray. I mean, most of the internet is not a fan of that dude anymore. They consider him a big sellout.
Jim
because
Murray
he's-
is a tool.
He's shat. Yes, like if you literally search Jim Murray, that like one of the first
That's one of the
Reddit
first
posts that
things that
pop
come
up, it
up.
says Jim Murray is a tool, and apparently, based on his personality, he would be like. I guess he's apparently loved that.
For those of you that don't know, Jim Murray puts out something every year called
Jim
the
Murray
Jim
Whiskey
Murray
Bible.
Whiskey Bible. And it's,
Some say he's been influenced by brands.
I
in
would
his
say
picks, because
he
some of
might
the
have
picks are
been.
hot garbage. Which
Cutwater canned bourbon.
I think that was Mr. Ascot, this Cutwater guy.
You were so close
All
to
those
saying
Cutwaters.
Mr. Askins.
Yeah.
And I was gonna punch you in the face. Ugh.
No, but hey, I'm going to tell you this much. We rag on some people here on the show, but hey, more power to them if they're able to have a following, make money doing it. Who cares? They're sellouts, whatever. More power to them if they can make it happen.
In the words of Real Big Fish, sell out.
Exactly. You want to talk about this? I think this is a little bit. I get some peanut brittle and I get some nuttiness in it. once
There's
it's
great
chilled.
nuttiness, and I was
Yeah.
going to say there's good tobacco flavor. I'm getting a nice tobacco.
There is a tobacco
and
in
the
there.
tobacco I'm getting, by the way, is not the smoked tobacco, but of aged tobacco in
Yeah.
a humidor. It's a really lovely flavor
That's
profile.
very well said. Very well said. So let's get to our rating, or do you have more news first?
One piece of news left. It's an
What do you
announcement
got?
of a big release that just came out today.
Oh,
a
do
big
tell.
release. This actually comes out of we're drinking Beam juice, and so we've got to talk and end with some Beam announcement.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Those of you that call it Jim Beam, you look like Winnie the Pooh with your huckleberry teeth. While those of us that call it James Beam look like Winnie the Pooh in his top hat and tuxedo. Just announced, James Beam, and it really is James Beam, is introducing Distiller Share number 6. They released this on their Instagram today. A whiskey born out of pure creativity and experimentation. For Distiller Share number 6, Freddie No experimented with finishing straight rye whiskey and musket wine casks for an additional 6 months, creating a whiskey that's truly unique. The musket wine cask provides a distinct sweetness with notes of bright citrus, the perfect complement to rye spice, and charred oak for a unique whiskey full of character.
Wow. It's not like them to use secondary barrel aging Jim Beam products. Like
This is interesting because the blend on this
Muscat,
bottle,
yeah.
so it's a 5-year juice. It's coming in initially aged in American and French oak.
Do we have a name for it so I can pull it up?
Yeah, this is the James B. Beam Distiller Share number 6. So it's initially aged in American and French oak for 5 years, then put into musket casks for an additional 6 months, coming in at 52.5% alcohol by volume.
Wow.
Coming kind of interesting. I do appreciate what the James Beam company has been putting together. I mean, I think Legent is one of those things that they experimented with, and it's one of my favorite things that they put out. I think Legent is very good. That is Jim Beam juice that they ship over to Japan and is treated like a traditional Japanese whiskey and then sent back to the States. And I think it's a very good thing. I think that it benefits a lot from that treat. I think this could also be very good. I think
Look at
messing
that.
around. Yeah, what a great label. So see, I wasn't messing around when I said it's called James
coming
B.
soon.
Beam.
James B. Beam.
It's coming for
Muscat
fall
wine finish.
2024. No release date was given, but it's coming.
Wow, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I mean, I'm always, I know some people give grief to Jim Beam, go, oh, it's Jim Beam, but hey, why not? That could be fun. So
that's the news.
All right. Well,
You wanna
that's
lead us
great
with the
news.
score?
Yeah. So, as we know around here on the show, we use a 3-category rating system that is nose. I almost I'm way off. Nose, taste, and value. I almost said like nose twice for some reason.
Nose, and nose.
Nose and nose. So starting off with the nose, I thought it was a very pleasant nose. I thought that it had a lot of the flavors translated into the nose of like that sweetness, the barrel char, all in a pleasant way. And even when it was, being iced, just a tiny splash for me, please.
You just need a splash.
I just need a hair here so I can really. That's perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, and it's got like, there's a lot of just kind of depth to it. And what I mean by that is like, there's just a lot going on. Like, you just get so much in that sweetness, that dried cherries, like that dried fruit in general. You get a little bit of that like tobacco actually. So when BJ mentioned tobacco leaf, and then I get like a nuttiness, like in the back end, like a very faint, almost like a wood or a nuttiness note. I'm gonna give it a 2. I'm gonna give the nose a 2. Not like mind blowing, doesn't resonate. It's not like when we had, some bottles in the past where you open it and I can smell it across the room. Like this was a bit contained, but it had some complexity going on, and I appreciated that. So I'm going to give it a solid 2 on the nose. For the taste, I'm still kind of like thrown off at that sting up front. I know we kind of mentioned it and passed it by, but it bothered me a little bit, even after the 3-sip rule. Because even after going back to it now, I got it again, where I was kind of like, and I don't know what that is, but it's super quick, but it just kind of annoys me.
You're not wrong.
Holy cow. Like it's just like
it is.
I think that might be like a barrel char. We use acrid a lot, but like there's like a barrel char. Like it's almost like a bitter char, and you guys know me in oak. So that for that, I'm not giving it a 3. I think it's another 2. I think taste is going to be a solid 2. I thought, like as I mentioned, this would be great with a cigar. It would complement a cigar very well on the patio, on the back porch, having a cigar, having a pour of this. And again, that complexity I think was there, and it gives it, I think, just a solid 2 on the nose and taste, 2 and 2. To value. So value is interesting. So as I mentioned, while BJ was using scissors to get the cork out, at first, how does he do that? We use the $10 system, right? Where it's basically like every $10 is a year of bottle value. So technically this should fall around $150. It's there now. I think it's selling for like $139 to $150 if you were to go buy this, if you can find it. Does it hold its own at that price? It's tough. I got this for $99 at the time. This was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I feel like it kind of should have stayed at around $100.
Yeah.
But I get it. I mean, all bourbon, they're all just it's a money grab right now. Like, guys, these are businesses, and that's what they're there for. They have shareholders they're reporting to, and they have to report in the green. So for that reason, a 15-year juice has a lot of complexity, a lot of factors. I'm not giving it a 3. I'm torn between a 2 and a 2.5. I think I'm going to give it 2, but I'm going to give it a blown away bonus.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a blown away bonus of the full 1 point.
Okay.
Because I liked all the complexity in it.
Yeah.
And I thought that it had a lot going on. and that's going to put me at a 70, like a 7 out of 10. It almost makes me regret not giving value a 2.5 because I would like to rate this a 75. I'd like to kind of put this at a 75 out of 100.
I mean, you can.
So I think I'm going to do that.
All right.
So I'm going to go back and put a 2.5, give it a blown away bonus of 75 total score. I think that's a really good middle of the road. I'm not giving that a C. I'm giving it a B. It's a B bottle. Thomas Anderson from Michigan. Cheers.
Cheers, Thomas Anderson.
From up there in the blue. I can't speak too much from being from Ohio. But he's sipping on a Wild Turkey Rare Breed, one of our favorites here on the show.
Excellent choice, Thomas Anderson.
That's a great bottle. I mean, Wild Turkey in general, we could talk about Wild Turkey for an entire show, which we haven't done in a while, and I think we need to revisit.
Maybe time.
And I need to look to see if we've ever done a review of the Wild Turkey Masters Keep 17.
I think we've brought it out, but I don't know that we've ever done an actual review.
Review. So thanks for that reminder of the Wild Turkey, Thomas, because now I think we planted the seed and we're going to have to do a review of that. So BJ, I'm giving that a 75. What do you got on it here?
Yeah, I'm going to echo a lot of the same things that you've said. I think that when I got back into the nose on that second splash pour, Cherry Danish is what was very...
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
Sweetness of vanilla icing, little baked good, a little sweet cherry. Cherry Danish was a big standout. I think that nose is solid. I like that nose a lot. I'm going to give the nose a 3. I'm going to give the taste. I'm with you. The sting, that stingy punch is really hard
punch
to get
at the
through.
beginning. Yeah, and I don't know why. I think that's just a lot of barrel age.
It could be, yeah, right? I mean, the barrel Lamaze, we haven't talked about that in a long time.
Correct.
But that molecular charge of moving barrel character in and out of that juice, that probably has something to do with it. I'm going to give the taste, I'm going to give a 2. I'm going to give the value a 1.5. I really slid that scale down. I don't know that this is a value. I think that if it stayed in this box, right, this is a special yearly allocated box. I think if you're going to start raising prices the way that you are, I'm
keep it in the box,
money grab. But if it's as special as it is, listen, you put Booker's in a box, and Booker's isn't that special. This is knob 15.
I almost mentioned that earlier when we were talking about the price of the bottle.
Booker's in a box,
and I was like, Little Book and Booker's go in a box.
Yeah, and you can't put the knob 15 in a box.
15 in a box. Don't tell me you're having some run on wood. Just use an old barrel and spray paint it like you guys do with these, or dip it in some.
Yeah,
whatever.
take brush all of the sawdust.
They don't even do that. They can just cut it off. No, they just sand it off and then cut out boxes from it. They got to do some of these barrels anyway.
So that said, that takes me to a 3, a 5, a 6.5.
Okay.
And I know that seems like kind of crappy.
You're gonna be like 65.
I'm gonna give the knob 15, 6.5 out of 10.
And I'm giving it a 75.
I'm gonna bump mine up a little bit.
I think you should,
because I can't live with a 6.5.
No, it's not a 6.5.
Which is why I'm gonna have to give a blown away bonus, because I'm gonna have to blown away because I don't like Knob Creek.
That's fair.
But I'm blown away that I've found another Knob Creek that I like. So I'm gonna bump it up with a full point, because I'm blown away that I found another knob that I can get behind.
Well said.
That's my blown away. That puts me right there with you at 7.5 out of 10. I think that's very good. Would I go out and seek this? Probably not. If I saw it on the shelf at a good value, and I'm saying like under 150, I might pick one up. But hey, I'm just telling you, James B. Beam, I know you watch us.
Obviously.
Put it back in a box. I think that it's special, right? So let's treat it special. A special lady deserves to be treated like one.
Thomas says he loves KC juice. And, and what's tough, Thomas, is that BJ loathed it before we had this taste of all of the Knob Creeks, which I was always giving him grief for. Yeah. But he really despises.
Even the single barrel select, I've had this several times. I don't like it.
I figured you were going to open it and pour it for us. You can reassess.
The 12 and the 15, I like. No, I already know I don't like that one. I had that
I know. That's
that story. Barrel is wretched.
Yeah, I totally feel you. Mrs. A out there is saying, really focusing on the box. So there you go.
Listen,
sounds like putting lipstick on a pig. Wow.
Men are simple. We like simple things. And if I want my bourbon in a box,
I can't tell you. It brings up a really good point, though, because if you think about it, there's a lot of marketing shtick out there that people use, like, crazy packaging. You got all these metals. You can kind of see my thumb pointing on Garrison Brothers there. You got other
metal.
Yeah, you got like there's a lot of gimmicks out there that
There
companies are using, and boxes and wooden displays and all the tubes are it's all part of the marketing gimmick. So just be careful.
Yeah.
Buy it for what's in the bottle, not for the display of it. Safi, what's going on?
What's up, Barrel Bestie?
So it's like, listen to reviews. Don't be sold on aesthetics. Don't look at something and be like, oh man, it's in a wooden box, I gotta buy it.
I got you.
Yeah, we're being picky, and we're like, it should go in the box,
Go in the
right?
box.
Yeah.
Don't buy bourbon the way you buy wine. Oh, that label looks really pretty. We should buy that one. Just saying.
I do that because I'm not that
We all
astute on
do.
wine yet. So,
Well, there you have it.
yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah. She says thanks. She's like, nice YouTube trophy. Yeah, they gave us some swag,
Thanks.
little creator swag. Thomas is saying that the KC single barrel select 100 proof is fire.
Oh,
Yeah, so some of the store picks I've had have been incredible, and some of the store picks I've had have been awful. So I'm always on the hunt for there. So there is during the pandemic, Costco passed in Las Vegas here on a amazing Knob Creek single barrel pick that they picked, and it ended up at, I believe it was Liquor World,
okay.
and it was basically like liquid peanut brittle,
Oh,
and it flew off the
Ooh, that
shelves.
sounds
And I
delightful.
may have to try to find a bottle to see if I could convince you that it's not all about the hot dog, whatever this hot dog. What do they call this
Yeah,
one?
the Route 66 hot dog.
Drag it
water.
through the garden, and it's got like a Chicago dog on here with like peppers and giardiniera or whatever on it. Like,
Yeah, well, it
I don't
tastes
know
like
about
you
that,
drug it
so.
through the fireplace ash.
Yeah, it wasn't good. But that's what's the craziest thing about Knob is that there's some I think really good picks and really bad
As
picks.
a fact.
And anyways, so they called it like this Costco stolen barrel, and it's got a Costco sticker on the back. So I'm always looking out for that Knob Creek pick if it's ever out there. I'm sure somebody locally in Vegas has it. I might be able to wheel and deal. And I think they were $50.
Oh,
but this is during the
wow.
pandemic, right? So yeah. So so this this kind of wraps up Knob Creek. I think we're closing the book.
We're gonna close the book on the knob.
And I'm glad we got to it. You were loathing.
I was dreading it.
Dreading.
I was dreading it.
Getting to this Knob Creek show.
That's
and
a
I
fact.
think that what would you say your opinion is of it now?
Yeah, you won me over. Like I said, Knob 9 and the single barrel. That single barrel I hated.
Did we ever, I don't think we got to the rye.
We didn't. You want to do the rye next week?
We could do the rye next week.
Let's do the rye next
do a
week.
wrap up of Knob actually. So you wanna make sure I
That would
can
be
open it.
interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 12 and the 15, I wouldn't turn my nose at. Normally, I would turn my nose up at all Knob Creek, and now I would say, yeah, go ahead and pour me a tipple, pour me a snort of the knob.
Yeah, we can do that next week.
Okay.
I think we can do that. So we haven't wrapped up Knob, guys. We're gonna do the rye
One more
next
week.
week. One more week. Interesting. Huh.
And then I feel like we're gonna film a couple of shorts on is it better than, and I'd like to do some
Yeah.
is it better than with knob 12s and the 15, because a lot of people do these is it better than Blanton's. I'm tired of the is it better than Blanton's. I think we could do is it better than Elijah Craig? Is it better
Yeah.
than
I want to hold it up.
We could do some
We
things.
challenge each other and we'll tier it against tier list it against some of our favorites and
I
see
think
where
we-
it lands.
I think we could do
always
some
like
is
to
it
do
better
that.
than's.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
a little blind is it better than's, and you'd be like, which one do I like better? And I think we'd be a little shocked at what we find.
I would agree with you. I'm looking forward to that.
I know
think that
I'm
would be a
planning
lot
to
of
be a
fun.
little shocked.
So then we have that coming up, and then wow, lo and behold, that's going to put us at the first week of September.
Yep.
Can you believe that? Like we're already kind of that's kind of like
So
fall.
we got some
coming here.
We got some September shows, and then of course, what always happens? We get the October shows. We'll have some
all
trick or treat.
Halloween.
We got
fall.
the famous trick or treat shot pours.
Did
those
you
shows.
say that we might be bringing back the shot show?
That is
For Halloween,
I think
around
we're gonna
Halloween?
I think we're gonna bring a shot show. Well, we always do the trick or treat where you pull a shot, and is it a trick or a treat?
Yes, out of the bag.
Right.
We do the
always
blind.
like the trick or treat.
You ready for this
blind
too?
shot bag.
You ready for this? Halloween's on a Thursday, so on Wednesday the 30th.
Oh, we can have a real show.
we can do
do
a
a real fun show.
we can do trick or treat shot show. Is it a trick or is it a treat?
Oh, we all know. We all know it's a trick.
You got to stay tuned. You guys have to. We need all of you there. Put it on your calendars. BJ and I will be promoting the hell out of that because we need all of you barrel buddies on that show for that. That's going to be a blast.
Lionesses, barrel buddies,
all and
barrel
we'll see,
bros, barrel buddettes.
We'll see if we can actually get a third. We'll see if we can get a special guest for that show.
It's going to be awful and amazing at the same
Yeah,
time.
we're gonna
Stay
dig.
tuned.
Maybe we'll get somebody new. We'll talk after the
We'll
show
see.
who we might be able to get. So
We'll
we're going to
see.
brainstorm. If you guys have any suggestions, please leave a comment. And if you have any suggestions for that shot show, please leave a comment.
I can already
That would be
see.
great. Be like, hey, for the shot show, do this, and we'll get it. Preferably, it's got to be a little
Fun.
bottle. It's got to be like a little shot, little, like one of those little
an airplane bottle.
airplane bottles that you can pick up. There's tons of them now everywhere.
The banana pudding,
99 bananas, like just banana
the
pudding,
pumpkin
all
cream,
the weird
Eggo.
Eggo waffle junk,
Oh,
anything you
great.
guys can think of, throw it a
It's gonna be
comment,
fun.
please. We
We always
wait
like to
get
dig into
it.
the bag. Is
So-
it a trick or a treat?
Or I don't think we can do that because especially with the Eggo waffle, it comes in like the little mason jar. I think we're gonna have to pour it for like
Whatever it is, we're gonna do
we're
it.
gonna have to like blind pick them.
Whatever it is, we're gonna do it.
Because here's the thing: if I dig my hand into a bag
Remember that-
blindly,
You remember that devil's
I'm gonna
apple
avoid
stuff from like Estonia? The devil's apple
and maybe we should do commentary on the first shot show too. Maybe the week before
might be.
we do a rewatch of the
we might
shot
need to
show.
Do some stuff.
And oh man,
All right,
anyway,
we're off the rails. We're off the rails. I
off
think
the rails.
Show's gone long enough.
For the Barrel Buddies, we'll see you guys next week. I'm Jimmy.
And I'm BJ. See you next week.